Hi everybody, welcome back. Welcome new subs. Lovely to have you here. What a weekend. How was your weekend? Fascinating energies, tons of downloads, insights and realizations. And we're in a fantastic energy today, very powerful energy. And so I might be dotting and darting again today because, right. So I was guided to go back to yet another old deck of cards that I haven't used in ages. And I've just done a 2-hour, an hour and a half peer session. And this happened. Just so much came exploding out of me. I wish I'd recorded it, but it isn't time. It's big. So I was guided to put the whole lot away, all of my notes and the cards that we drew, and come in from scratch. And so I go to Nature's Whispers, I shuffle the cards, and that kind of says it all for today. Well, right, for the generation. So 50, we've got a collective rise into the higher mind. This is gateway energy. And I'm going to follow my instructions. I'm not going to bring any of my notes in. I'm just going to see where this reading leads. But that kind of wraps the explosion that came out this morning. Is gateway energy, colossal change right up the fractal. Okay, speak to me. Speak to me. Yeah, completely. Absolutely. North Node. So this is where we're heading. And you could call this the ramping energy that I've been speaking about. Okay. And the two of the key words that came out in this morning's session were suppression and primal. So it's about the suppression of primal will. And this is going to bring into being a whole new way of being in the world. I think I said the other day, maybe our task at the moment is not to learn to be, not so much to learn how to be human, but how to be animal. And indeed, one of the cards that came out this morning was Sagittarius, which is, you know, half animal, half human. So it's walking between worlds, energy. And here we have the 9th house of Sagittarius coming in on that magical 47-11-2. Wow, this correct use of power. I get dominance and will and ego. There's lots of Mars energy coming through with this. And where we have been dominated and blocked and limited. Okay. That's the card that came out this morning, and this deck has been fully shuffled. Okay, it's coming in on that 9, the 9th house, Sagittarius. So we're talking into new philosophy, a new belief system, a new way of being. Well, it's not even belief. It's that is acting in the moment, with absolute focus. That's interesting. Okay, so these cards want to come out as well. And in sidereal astrology, I believe this current new moon is actually in Leo, which would make sense because it is that light. It's almost the light of the spiritual sun. And it's the 18 giving itself over to the greater wisdom. So it's a sacrificial ego. It's a sacrificing of an egoic need to be something, and that's about boundaries. It's actually about what we take responsibility for. It's about our story and the ancestral story that we're still living through. So again, primal will, this is like the rebirth of primal will. If you were you without your ancestral story, without what parents and grandparents imposed upon the timeline, who are you? What are you? What are you is the question. And Libra, justice, there's the justice again. And again, coming in on that 7 is the fusing of light into matter. This just keeps coming back to primal will. And it's like the conflict is kind of between where we are polite and where we curl our top lip back and we snarl. It's that difference. I mean, okay, I want to speak into this. So again, the root of the throat chakra is activating. And I've left this card out from last week, this Michael card, because today one of the connections that we made is between Michael and Gabriel, and Michael as the protector of the throat chakra, it's the expression of truth. This is Gabriel energy. Right, where am I going from here? I'm being taken to the let's have a look at these. All right. Right, okay. So here's the dotting and darting. Coming straight off the bottom of the deck, we have the root chakra, which is, well, I might say it's reptilian. That's reptilian brain, which is survival. This is fight, flight, survival. 3811-2. It's the building of the cathedral within. And what do we stand on? What is the base? What is your base? What is your foundational belief about safety and security, about your place in the world? That's coming in with Mars. Okay. And I believe this new moon is squaring Mars. Again, another square for us to kick against or be trapped by. 22-4, Master Builder. What are we building? And that's coming in with Uranus. Change. Collective rise into the higher mind. Entrance. Today is such a key day. The date is it's the truth coming into the vision. Today's date is truth coming into the vision. Okay, so we have angel. I've got Katie Tunstall coming in again with See Yourself as a Fallen Angel. The martyr. Giving over, the giving over of personal will, the giving over of the sword to serve something that might define us as good. Actually, might define us as an angel, but angels are warriors, you know. It's that warrior energy, destruction of the martyred angel. What's the name? What's the name? It begins with V. I've got to find the name. Bear with me. Let me just pause this. Valkyrie. That's what I'm getting. Valkyrie is the empowered angel. Wow, this is like wow. This is the primal feminine force. There's no fairies or unicorns here. It's primal feminine creator force riding in on Valkyrie. And again, the question is, where is it okay to get angry? Where is it okay to experience rage in a different way and bring that creative force to it, bring the higher mind to it rather than the emotions? So this collective rise is up out of the emotions and into the higher mind. And the higher mind will help us find the facts, follow the facts without bias. And the bias will come in with the emotional attachment to the past story. Okay. So we're talking about energies recently. We're talking about the difference between a feeling and an emotion. And a feeling is animal response, it's gut instinct. And an emotion is tied to a story. It's an old storyline that can keep us limited. Thank you. Brilliant. What else? Lantern. Let's go to the lantern. Open message, please. Okay. Key to intimacy, coming out with trusting tricksters. Trusting tricksters to feel some kind of intimacy. Distorted desire. So if we're talking about intimacy, I mean, if I use the bumper sticker cliche of into me I see, and we're talking about building the cathedral within, then we are talking about primal force, primal energy, and primal intimacy is your intimate relationship to yourself. And that calls into question all sorts of boundaries, where your boundaries are, where someone can and cannot step into your field. And consequences is another massive one. Consequences has been all over the radar really for a while. And what are the consequences of this trickster energy. What are the consequences when we give false faith and false hope to something that cannot fully meet us at that intimate, soul bonded, soul respecting level where we know how to embrace difference? It's like the child, it is. And the grown wounded child will express. Okay, so it's the difference between expressing through the higher mind and expressing from a place of woundedness. So the wounded child normalizes abusive toxic behavior in the parent. Why? Because the raison d'etre of a child is to survive. And so the child will make normal trickster energy, damaging energy, violating energy. And again, this comes right into the suppression of primal will, sacral chakra, Virgo. Okay, the planting of the seeds, what seeds have been planted. And so the child will distort its desire, and unhealed will seek that same toxic behavior as a repeating pattern, because it's the only way it can experience intimacy and love, but it isn't real love. So this is a massive tower today, is the realization, the tearing down of the edifice of, actually, this is not good enough for me. Tearing down the edifice of, I'm not going to do this to myself anymore. And bringing in that sovereignty that can be intimidating and threatening, and we avoid it because you don't want to rock the boat, but the boat's rocking. The boat's been rocking for thousands of years. So we're just using all of our energy to keep it safe. We live on a lump of rock spinning through space at 1,000 miles an hour. How far can we go into safe? What's the true meaning of the word safe? A sentence I was given this morning is, the adventure lies in the imperfection. The adventure lies in getting it wrong. And when we get it wrong, do we A, work the problem and go tactical on it, or do we B, get lost in our emotions and crash and burn because the small self comes in that isn't deserving of that love? Remember the story of the young warrior in the shop, not deserving of real love, and so the only way he can express his masculine Mars is to intimidate others. Okay, the other one here. I sense there might be some throat work going on this morning, definitely some base and sacral work. I'm going to bring in some, so this is this beautiful box. My dad gave me this years ago. So this is my personal deck. I've been using it for about a year with clients, and it's just sentences. That's it. Okay, number one. Who am I without my burdens? And there's a beautiful piece of work to be explored in there of, can you name your burdens? You know, can you get down into the base and the root, into the base and the sacral? So that's where we hold it. That's where we hold all that suppression. That's where we find out where we're giving energy to. Planting dead seeds. And the classic example of this is empty nesters. This is the most common expression of, who am I without my burdens? Who am I without this? I could rename this question. And the parents have invested everything in their children. And when their children leave home, well, who are the parents as individuals, and who are the parents in relation to one another? Because what might have happened in the raising of the children is they've lost their intimate connection with one another. So they don't know how to speak to one another, and they don't know how to listen to one another. And very often couples go their They're separate ways. Because the mind cannot conceive of being without burdens, so we don't let go, we hang on and we drag the burdens forward rather than let go and set ourselves free for a primal adventure, to wander the land like a big cat or a wolf or a bear, whatever. Which primal animal would you identify with? That might be an interesting question. And how do you express that in the world? Might be another question. And the card under that coming in on 4, the builder energy, is where is there room for me to change in this? So the question might be, in the face of a trickster, where do I hold back? Do I hold back or do I call it? So in the narrative, it's going to look like the separation from emotional content to fact. And they are worlds apart at the moment. When people act out from emotions, it's just distortion, it's trickster, it's manipulation, it's martyr energy, victim energy. And it's done to try and establish some kind of emotional connection, intimate connection. But that's all changing. It's literally being destroyed. This is today's tower. It's literally being destroyed. Where is there room for you to change in this? Yeah, brilliant. Do you ever have a conflict or a disagreement or an argument where you're telling your mate about it later and you say, oh, I wish I'd said this. Oh, I wish I'd done that. But because the mind is in the way, the emotional mind is in the way, pulling us in all kinds of directions, we don't go to that primal instinct. Brilliant, thank you. All right, yeah, so I'm going to go to the shaman cards and just ask, how do we work with this? Well, it has to be in the earth, which means it has to be made physical, through a physical expression, not a thought, because the thought is, I wish I'd said that, I wish I'd done that. So earth is here now, bring it to life here now. And we've got lots going on. This is the unspoken will, the suppressed primal will. I'm loving this energy. This is how to harness Mars, how to harness that inner masculine. We do it by changing the world. We change the world because we bring it into being. Yeah, completely. And we're calling ourselves home. All the parts of ourselves that we've detached from in order to be this numb, functioning, acquiescing human being that fits in a structure that doesn't really want collective freedom. And when we bring down our own tower, well, when we do that, it isn't done for us. So it's always good to bring down your own tower. Then we can bring that missing part of us back, missing part of our inner warrior, perhaps, or, you know. And this is about the inner vision. This is activating the inner vision and acting through the inner vision. Not what anybody tells you, not how they think what you're doing is balmy or bonkers or impolite or inappropriate. It's all about them. It's got to come from you. This is a rebirth of personal will. Yeah, Uranus. Lightning. And when we come from that primal personal will, it happens as quick as lightning. It's the higher mind coming to ground. Brilliant. It's the higher mind coming to ground in a bolt of Uranian lightning. where did that come from? Free association. I need to speak to you about free association. I find when I'm working professionally with people, one of the things they struggle with the most is free association, because the intellect just gets in the way. You know, free association is lemon, box, fan, biscuit, clipboard. That's free association. Then the mind comes in and goes, oh, I don't know why I said that. I don't know what that all means. Oh God, that sounds a bit rude. That sounds a bit, that's the intellect. And again, you know, go back to the video that we did, can't remember when it was, about the intellect as the henchman for the ego. It's the block to that free association, to the beat of your own drum, which is as unique as everybody else on the planet. The beat of your own drum gives you your place in the orchestra, gives you your own instrument, your own song in the orchestra. Fabulous. Okay. I'm going to wrap it up there, because I could talk ad nauseum on human relationships. But here today is a potential gateway to tear down the martyred angel, to come into that Spartan warrior, to harness Mars in a productive way that allows your fire to express itself in the world, without worrying about how are they going to react. That's it. That's it. That's the gateway. It's a potential gateway for freedom, but we have to make it earth. We have to earth it. So express it through behavior and action. Higher mind, not the emotions. So coming up out of the emotions. Freedom. Beautiful. Okay. My lovelies, that is it. I am going. And I will see you all again soon. I'll leave you with my love for now. There will be more. Take care. Yeah, go Spartan. See you soon.